The NASCAR Cup Series heads to Phoenix Raceway to crown the NASCAR Cup Series champion, and we see the Kyle Larson in the 5-car pickup, his first career NASCAR Cup Series Championship. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching the Cup Series race in Phoenix, the season finale 500 at Phoenix, and I have to say that the race was really awesome, and we already have a champion to discuss about as well. Let's first talk about the guy that did win the championship tonight, Kyle Larson. Holy crap, Kyle Larson picking up his first career NASCAR Cup Series Championship. And in my honest opinion, he absolutely 100% deserves this championship. But tonight, he really had to earn this race, in my opinion. His car really wasn't that good in the beginning of the run. They made kind of a really questionable pit strategy call to come down pit road during the first caution after Bubba Wallace had his problems in the race, after Ricky Stenhouse Jr. got into Corey LaJoie, and then Corey LaJoie then got into Bubba. Kyle Larson basically went down pit road, which I didn't understand that call. But then there was a caution that came out for a three-car crash. I think it was between Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Corey LaJoie, and Anthony Alfredo. They came down pit road, and they didn't come down. They crashed. And then Kyle Larson, he got back up front. But all the other championship cars, Chase Elliott, Mark Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, they all came down pit road during that caution. Now, Kyle Larson held his ground for a little bit in the race, but then Chase Elliott, especially on the short runs, his car I thought was the best for sure on the short runs, and not Larson's. He got around Kyle Larson, was able to eventually get the race lead from him, and actually was able to get up front. Actually, Ryan Blaney left for a while, but then you also saw Kevin Harvick had a lot of speed, and then he saw a 5-race battle for the lead between Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Larson, and Martin Truex Jr., and eventually Martin Truex Jr. actually got the race lead. And on the long runs, I think the Joe Gibbs cars were definitely faster. I thought MTJ and Hamlin were better, and MTJ actually ended up winning stage 1. But then in stage 2, they worked on Larson's car a little bit. On the longer runs, his car kind of fell off. And then there was some contact later in the race between Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott. And Kyle Larson, with that damage, he had a little more downforce on the car, and he actually was able to keep the race lead for a while, but then Chase Elliott got back around him. And then on the final, and then Kyle Larson, I think, actually ended up winning stage 2 here at Phoenix. But then in stage 3, Kyle Larson dominated the early portion of the run, but Chase Elliott eventually got around Kyle Larson with about 76 laps to go in the race, and Chase Elliott had the race lead, and Larson fell back to third because Denny Hamlin and Martin Truex Jr. cars came down pit road. And then Martin Truex Jr. came down pit road, and to basically for strategy, try to come down pit road for the final lap, for the final pit stop at the time, because he probably thought, hey, this is probably going to be a good strategy call. And then on the same exact lap that Martin Truex Jr. comes down pit road, Anthony Alfredo crashes and brings out the caution in today's race, which is really unfortunate for those. At the time, it was really unfortunate for the other drivers in the race because they would have to come down pit road. And Mark Truex Jr., because he beat the cars off pit road, he actually ended up, fortunately for him, he basically had a longer car and had the race lead. And Denny Hamlin also won the race off pit road. Meanwhile, Kyle Larson, who won, like I said, won the championship, Kyle Larson actually would have a bad pit stop and would all fall all the way back to 5th and 6th. The Penske cars got by him on pit stops too, and all the other championship cars. On the restart, Martin Truex Jr. actually got the race lead from all 3 of them, and he was able to hold on. Then Denny Hamlin started trying to chase him down, and it looked like it was going to be a race between Martin Truex Jr. and Denny Hamlin for the win, and Larson and Chase were starting to fall back. Well, unfortunately enough for the Hendrick boys, Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott would get a big break when David Starr would unfortunately have parts come off his car, something like, I think in a radiator, something like that. And unfortunately for him, fortunately for them, and unfortunately for the Joe Gibbs cars, they would have to come back down pit road for a pit stop because of that yellow. And on the pit stop, Kyle Larson's team puts together an 11.8-second pit stop, and he wins the race off pit road. Now, throughout the race, it's taken about 23 or 24 laps to Martin Truex Jr.'s car to really come in. But Martin Truex Jr. got a really good restart. Larson had the race lead, then Truex starting to getting in there. And then Larson right up into the resin in the traffic compound, and he was able to keep the race lead away from Martin Truex Jr., and he was able to keep the race lead. But then in the final few laps, Larson looks like he's going to have it, and then Martin Truex Jr., his car started coming in. He cut it back down to 7/10, back to 8/10, back to 7/10. But it was not enough for Martin Truex Jr. to catch Kyle Larson. And coming off the final corner, Kyle Larson puts together an exclamation point on incredible since a year and a half, and Kyle Larson is your 2021 NASCAR Cup Series champion. Martin Truex Jr. finished second in the race. I think Denny Hamlin finished third. And actually, Chase Elliott finished third. Actually, did Hamlin get third? I don't remember. I think Denny Hamlin finished third. And then I believe Chase Elliott finished fourth in the race. capping off an incredible year for Kyle Larson. I mean, what is there to say about Kyle Larson? The dude has earned this championship. The redemption story is absolutely complete, especially after last year when he said that racial slur that cost him really an opportunity to be in NASCAR. He comes back, takes over the 48 car, and like I said, his car wasn't that great, but man, all the things that Kyle Larson has done this year, winning the Prairie Dirt Classic, winning the Knoxville Nationals, winning the Chili Bowl Nationals, winning the Kings Royal at Eldora, and winning 10 Cup Series races, including the Coca-Cola 600, the NASCAR Cup Series Championship, and also winning the All-Star race at Texas, and puts together a 4 or 5 win season in the playoffs as well. Picking up 10 wins. This is the first time that a driver has won double-digit races in a season since Jimmie Johnson did it in 2007. And guess what? That was basically around the same team pretty much that Jimmie Johnson was the same team that Jimmie Johnson probably had back then besides Cliff Daniels. And I also want to talk about Cliff Daniels. I know Cliff Daniels has some questionable calls, but Cliff Daniels is one of the most calm crew chiefs I've ever seen. He's someone who knows how to get it done as a crew chief, and he helped Kyle Larson today go out there and win this championship. And they both really gelled together. They lost their engineer, by the way, Jesse Saunders, which probably was one crucial reason why Kyle Larson's car wasn't as good, and they were using an old basically old chassis as well, which they're not going to be using more Hendrick chassis anymore because they were going over to the Gen 6 car next year. So Kyle Larson winning this championship, and over 2,500 laps led this year, most laps led in a single season since Jeff Gordon did it in 1995, the most laps led, and so many different varieties of tracks that Kyle Larson is able to win on. He won on short tracks like Bristol. He won on road courses like the Charlotte Roval. He won at Watkins Glen, and also won at Sonoma earlier this year. Won at intermediate tracks like Nashville, and won at bigger tracks as well. Won on different types of package. It really didn't matter. Kyle Larson was the best throughout the year. Again, though, I don't think Larson had the best car. I think he probably had the third or fourth best car at the championship for. But the pit crew came in clutch. They had a fantastic piss up, and Kyle Larson won the championship. So huge congratulations to Kyle Larson on winning the championship. I'm super, super excited. I've been a Kyle Larson fan for a very, very long time, and the system got it right. Finally, the system exactly got it right. First time since 2019, Kyle was actually won the championship. First time the definitive champion in a couple years won the championship. So congratulations to Kyle Larson on picking that up. Let's talk about the other 3 drivers. Chase Elliott really, I think, had the best car through the short runs. His car, unfortunately, fell off on the long runs, though, which is something they were kind of worried about during the practice sessions. That was something they were kind of a little bit worried about. And unfortunately for Chase Elliott, he never really could have a chance to get up there because the pit crew, unfortunately, did not play at the end of the race. But he was classy in Kyle Larson. And that's another thing. All 3 drivers were very, very classy and gave the thumbs up. And congratulations to Kyle Larson. So a lot of respect from the drivers right there, and a lot of respect toward Kyle Larson, because they know this guy absolutely, definitively deserves this championship. Denny Hamlin. For the 7th time, he tries to compete for a championship, and for the 7th time, Denny Hamlin unfortunately loses a championship once again. I think Denny Hamlin probably was the least performing car most of the day until the end of the race. I expected Hamlin probably to be the least likely to win, and I was exactly right. He was the only one, I believe, that did not lead any laps in today's Cup Series race, and he never got up front and led laps throughout the day. He had to start farther back, and he literally did not have a good day on pit road either, which I think cost him in an opportunity to go out for it. So, unfortunately for Denny Hamlin, he doesn't win another championship, but man, Denny Hamlin, 46 career wins. He's a driver that's going to be in the Hall of Fame one day. I think he absolutely was a legend of the sport, and he absolutely deserves I hope he can get a championship maybe next year, but he's getting to the farther portions of his career, and you don't know how much longer Denny Hamlin's going to be racing in NASCAR, so I hope Denny Hamlin doesn't retire anytime soon, but it's not going to be much longer for Denny Hamlin, and his chances of winning a NASCAR Cup Series Championship are starting to fade. Mark Truex Jr. I think Mark Truex Jr. probably had the best car on the long runs. Unfortunately, that caution for David Starr cost Mark Truex Jr. a chance to win the championship, but he almost beat Kyle Larson straight up at the end of the race. It's just that Larson got too far ahead of Truex for him to have a major opportunity to go after Kyle Larson for the victory. So Truex finished second, comes runner-up. Truex also tied for the second most wins of the season. He actually had a pretty decent playoffs. I don't think he was the most definitive, and I think was the least deserving driver to win the championship. I think he finished 7th. I think he finished 6th or 5th in the points, so still had a pretty good year regardless. And I think these 4 were arguably some of the best, but I don't think that Truex was the least deserving just because where he was in a position points-wise. But man, Mark Truex Jr. had a chance to win it. He didn't get a second championship, but second straight year for Hendrick to win. Hendrick won, I think, 17 races this year. I think they said they led almost 4,000. I think they led 4,000 laps this year, which is only the 5th time I think that's ever happened. So Hedger Motorsports capping off an incredible season. Let's talk a little bit more about the race. This race compared to last year's race was very, very chaotic. There was a lot that happened in this race. You had a lot of wrecks. Early in the race, you had 2 cautions in the first 20 laps. First one when Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Corey LaJoie had contact, which we talked about when he got into Bubba Wallace. Then Corey LaJoie and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. crashed later in the race and got Anthony Alfredo. Then Chase Briscoe crashed hard on the outside wall. I think Kyle Busch intentionally wrecked Chase Briscoe in that situation, which unfortunately cost Chase Briscoe a good run because he was having a very, very strong run in this race. Another driver was having surprisingly a very strong run, at least for the first half of the race, was Cole Custer. Cole Custer had a very, very strong run early portions of the race, but unfortunately never got up there. As I think the championship four were going to be the 4 fast, and they ended up finishing 1, 2, 3, 4 in the race. But Cole Custer had a really good day going. I think with practice qualifying coming back, even though it's going to be limited next year, I do think that Cole Custer is going to probably be pretty competitive next year. So Cole Custer had a pretty good day as well. Also, last day for a couple things. Starcom Racing, they crashed out in the event as well. Quinn Half had a tire go down. Last race of Starcom Racing is racing. We'll talk more about that later this week in the news cycle. But unfortunately for Quinn Half, he unfortunately was eliminated from the race and early, and Starcom Racing time in NASCAR is over. Also, Chip Ganassi Racing included their final race. This also was the final race for the Gen 6 car, which I have to say, for this being the final race of the Gen 6 era, I thought it was a very, very solid championship race, much better than the last year's championship race. I'm going to give today's championship race overall a 9 out of 10. Also, Brad Keselowski's final race at Team Penske before he goes over to Roush. I think he finished in the top 10, so we got a pretty solid finish at the end of the day. Anyway, congratulations to Kyle Larson on picking up his first championship. I'm super pumped. He's my favorite driver. I'm super excited, and I'm going to be celebrating tonight. So, anyway, that is it for today's race review from Phoenix International Raceway, the Cup Series Championship race. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications so you're notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support pages around list description below for that, and comment your thoughts on today's race. What are your thoughts on today's race? Let me know your thoughts in the below. Let me know your score on today's race, and let me know what your thoughts on the championship, and congratulate Kyle Larson on picking up his first championship. So anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys next time for some more great and awesome NASCAR content on the channel like this. The off-season is beginning tomorrow, and we've got a lot of special content that's going to be dropping on the channel that I think you all are going to be looking forward to. So I'll see you guys then for some more awesome NASCAR content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.